Hello and welcome to People in the Boxes. This is episode 126, every Thursday night, 8 o'clock Central Time. This is January 9th, 2025. You may be catching the replay. If so, check out the show. Let us know what you think about it. Hit the comments. We will respond. And check out the show tonight if you're watching live. We'll be right back in about 4 minutes and 16 seconds. We're going to play a little intro. Enjoy the song and the show. And we're going to be hitting that like button and sharing us out. If you could tag some friends in here, we'll be right back. Let's go.
Cozy room where the lights are dim sits Waylon the farmer with a heart full of whim. He's not tilling fields or sowing seeds, but planting thoughts, fulfilling needs. People in the Boxes, that's the name of the show, where voices unite, let their stories flow. From all walks of life, they come to share their hopes, their dreams, their daily fare. With headphones on and mic in hand, Waylon invites listeners from across the land. He says, come on in, don't be shy. Let's talk about life, let's give it a try. People in the Boxes, dogmies unfold. In this podcast, hearts are bold, breaking down walls with every word. In Waylon's world, everyone's heard. Everyone's heard. From the city slicker to the country lass, every episode a new class, discussing love, work, and everything in between. Waylon's voice, the perfect scene. He cultivates thoughts like crops and rows. His podcast a garden where wisdom grows. No matter the topic, big or small, Waylon's there connecting us all. So tune into People in the Boxes tonight, where every voice shines and every story's right. With Waylon the farmer, indoors we might be, but through this podcast, we're all free. This song for Waylon, for bringing us together in a world where we all seek to connect forever. People in the Boxes, tune in, you'll find a community where every voice is intertwined. If you cultivate thoughts like crops and rows, every episode a new class, discussing love, work, and every word. In Waylon's world, everyone's heard. From the city slicker to the country lass, every episode a new class, discussing love, work, and everything in between. Waylon's voice, the perfect scene. From the city slicker to the country lass, every episode a new class, discussing love, work, and everything in between. Waylon's voice, the perfect scene. He cultivates thoughts like crops and rows. His podcast a garden where wisdom grows. No matter the topic, big or small, Waylon's there connecting us all. So tune in to People in the Boxes tonight, where every voice shines and every story's right. With Waylon the farmer, indoors we might be, but through this podcast, we're all free. This song for Waylon, for bringing us together in a world where we all seek to connect forever. With Waylon the Boxes, tune in, you'll find a community where every voice is intertwined.
All right. Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome in. It is Thursday night. Once again, 8 o'clock Central Time. People in the Boxes, episode 126, January 9th, 2025. January 9th. Uh, like my son said earlier, it's New Year's. I'm like, well, not really, son. It's the 9th, but it still feels pretty new. But a lot of things have been going on already this year, a lot within our own lives and like just abroad in the news. Some tragedies, some major fires happening right now in California. There's not a lot for us to talk about in that respect, but we do want to at least shout out, prayers and thoughts out to everybody that's dealing with that. One way or the other, fires are no fun in a dry season. So, but yes, there are other things happening, and there were two different major attacks recently. Not major. There were major news stories of attacks, I should say. The one was in Louisiana, I believe, and the other one was in Las Vegas. We're going to look into those, but that's kind of leads me a little bit to the topic tonight. Have you ever been afraid to go out just because you didn't want to be around all the people? And maybe you don't have a diagnosis of some kind of a phobia or anything. We have a couple of phobias we're going to look at from similar aspects of people, crowds and or public spaces. And so, have you ever thought that though recently, where it's like, well, it's too much of a hassle? Bad things happen when you're in crowds of people and stuff like that. I venture to think that there is an uptick in the sort of fear of going out to some of these big events, which are sort of big targets for terrorist attacks, domestic or foreign, whatever you want to call it, and stuff like that. I mean, that maybe it's just being sensationalized, right? So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about it, guys. If you could help us out, hit the like button, share us out with your friends, and let's get started because there's probably a wide range of thoughts in the comments. So let's get going. We got Red Six with us. Tell us what's up, Red Six. All right.
Oh, not too much, just hanging in there.
Hanging in there. Who won tonight's veteran giveaway?
Terry? Now you're gonna make me have to look it up.
Well, it's kind of nice to shout him out again one more time.
Yeah, let me look that up real quick. I do see one of the members from over there is in here. Roach, what's up, Roach? How you doing?
Oh yeah, appreciate you guys coming in. And as always, we do strongly encourage anyone to come up and hang out with us and just talk about the topic. Give us your opinion, but give us what you've experienced on the topic. And of course, we got Kim with us. Kim is drained from a new job, a new place out there, the new frontier. How's it going? I saw your post before you look all sad. I saw your post. You said the word. You said it gave you hope for the first time in a long time. Thought that was a nice post.
Yeah.
What's up, Kim?
Yeah, I've been teaching high school for the last 10 years. I didn't usually teach high school, but it's usually been my preferred thing. But I don't know, since the pandemic, things have been different. And I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like the schools care. It's all about money. And
7:10. Everybody, cheers.
I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff. And it was just like sucking the life out of me because I care. I want the kids to be educated, and it sucks when you don't have support behind you for educating the students in your room and you get penalized for things. So,
have you ever worked for a private school? I guess I've never.
Mm-hmm.
Was it much different?
Honestly, not really. The parents are more motivated because they're paying for their kids' education. So you get more parental involvement, but you also get helicopter parents that try to control everything because they are spending their money. So I don't know. I feel like I feel like our whole system thinks that education is about getting good grades, and in a lot of ways, it's like a currency. So um,
Yeah,
the
I can see
kids
that.
are wanting the good grade because grades are grades should be an indicator of a student's learning and how well they're learning. And so kids are motivated for whatever reason a lot of the time, especially in private schools, to get good grades because the parents are paying for that and parents have expectations. The kids are getting good grades. But how are they getting those good grades? Are they getting those good grades because they're doing the work, or are they getting those good grades because they're cheating the system somehow?
Now, so when you say that, though, I'm guessing you're not talking about just the old fashioned look over your buddy's shoulder, but there's a lot of little sophisticated ways to do that. And so, but let's I appreciate that, and I hope it works out better for you at this new school for sure. But let's get into the topic. I think you did say that you had a fear of crowds, and we can connect those two a little bit because schools can be pretty packed.
Oh
You go
yeah.
to school events, like the pep rallies and
I don't
the
I
whatever.
don't do those. I don't do those if they're indoors. Too much stimulation and I have panic attacks.
A lot of a lot more sound. Everything's sort of vibrating from the crowd, just roaring, and then the bleachers are just shaking and vibrating. Man, yeah, I've been to some of those games. You know what I'm talking about? Red Six, a freaking basketball game at high school, or a bigger stadium. Have either of you been to a big stadium? I've only been to a local, a Chiefs game. It's about the biggest stadium I've ever been to. But you ever been to like a Chicago game or anywhere like a big
I've been to
football stadium?
a Bulls game when I was a kid.
A Bulls game, okay, back when it was good. Yeah, when we were kids, it was still like Michael was still around for. We were in our early teens when.
Yeah.
When he stopped playing, and he moved. He decided to buy the Wizards, the Washington Wizards, and then become a team owner instead of a player. What's up?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he did both for a while, didn't he? He
Yeah,
owned while he played. Yeah, that'd be awkward. Like they somehow play each other, like the team you're on versus the team that you own. What? I don't think that works out.
When I was younger too, I had a little bit of a phobia to even go to school because like kindergarten through 6th grade for me, maybe in the entire school, there was maybe 60 to 70 kids in all grades. And then by the time you hit junior high to high school, when I was in high school, there was almost 900 kids in our school. So in just a matter of a few years, I went from, country, not very many kids in class to there's so many kids in school you can barely make it down the hallway. So and I don't know, I'm kind of shy, kind of timid to begin with. So there's a lot of high school, there was a lot of times I would skip just because of that reason alone. Like the anxiety, Kim kind of mentioned it earlier, would get so bad. Like I didn't even want to be at school. And it's not because I didn't like school or kids were picking on me or anything like that. It was just what we're talking about tonight, that fear of being in large crowds. So
I think there's some kind of problem happening.
Honestly,
Facebook has some kind of error going on. Like, let's see.
it's real common for kids once they start hitting middle school because there aren't as many middle schools and high schools as there are elementaries, and they're designed that way to keep the population smaller and more neighborhoodly.
Yeah.
But it's not cost effective to have that many middle schools and high schools. So they become like my high school that I just left. We have the largest population. I want to say there's like 2,300 kids. Oh my God, is that Jason?
I tried to message you, but you weren't looking at your messages.
No, because it looks like there's some kind of error happening. No one's messages, no one's comments
No.
are coming through, and
No
except
comments.
Kristen
only a
just did.
couple.
You did, and
Yeah.
Kristen did.
There's
Like-
only a couple before that. Looks like
Facebook took a
Reddit.
dump tonight.
Roach
There's
took
5
one.
people.
Rochi
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, Roach, Loki. He's talking about Timothy. That's the guy that won the veterans giveaway tonight.
Gotcha, Timothy.
Yeah,
Nice.
hello, Cam. How are you, dear?
I'm okay. I'm
It's
tired.
good to see that smile. You look it. You look
Thanks.
it.
Yeah, it's been.
Well, with moving into your new house and everything else, I mean, you got a lot going on.
Yeah, I started. Well, switched schools. I transferred schools. So I went from teaching high school social studies to a new middle school teaching English language arts. So, and it's been a long time since I've taught ELA. So it's.
Oh yeah, it gets you. Definitely gets you. But hello, everybody.
What have you been
Hello.
up to?
Oh, same old shit, just different day. I punch in at 4 a.m. every morning now. So
Ugh.
this is really late for me. But I told Waylon I was going to try to stay up and at least come on for a little bit. So say hi to everybody.
Yeah, man. We'll have to We'll have to ask you about the topic at least, real quick. What's up? What's up, Danielle? I'm trying to see if this thing, I don't know. Maybe we're on the bottom of the algo tonight or something. There's something going on. But guys, yeah, hit the hashtag WTIF. What's our hashtag PITB in the comments? But yeah, Jason. So we had a couple big stories, and I'm going to pull those up while we're talking. But we had the big attack outside of a Trump hotel or something in LA or Louisiana, where it was the cyber truck, obviously sending a message and all that. But then right away there was another attack in Vegas. So I don't know a lot of the details other than a few days ago when I saw it all come down. So I want to look some of that stuff up. But what do you think about? I kind of have a feeling of what your thoughts are, but what do you think about crowds and sort of big public events and stuff like that?
It's been a lot in the last 4 years. I'm going to say 4 years, maybe even 5 years now. A lot of things happening at big events. When was that shooting in Vegas at that Vegas concert? That was a couple of years ago, where they just sprayed all over the place. It made people think twice about going to concerts, made people think twice about going to fairs, going to music festivals, all of that. I am not going to change my everyday life and live in fear. I won't live in fear. I refuse to live in fear. But that does not mean that I am not going to be more aware of my surroundings. If I'm going to go to a large gathering, 100% going to be aware of my surroundings. A lot more now than I used to be. One thing is I don't drink anymore. So not being intoxicated makes me definitely more aware of my surroundings, and able to pick up on certain things like, wait, if it looks weird, it's weird, guys. If it doesn't look right, it's not right. But that's our thing is we've gotten so shy about speaking up on certain things that we just look the other way. Oh, it's not affecting me. I'm going to look the other way. So I believe that's why some of these attacks, some of this stuff has actually started to happen more and more. I mean, just the other day, I was literally walking down the street, seeing a guy punch his girl in the face several times. 4 other people walked by before several of us could get up there and stop him. 4 people just walked by and allowed it to happen. No, I don't care what she did. No.
I'm surprised you didn't see people recording it.
Turn your head and walk the other way.
Yeah, that's the other side. That's like the more extreme version now. Instead of just looking the other way, people pull out their phones and let me catch some of this.
What happened to the girl that burned up on the subway?
I do get nervous in airports still. I don't know why. There's just that something about an airport, but in a mall, a concert, restaurants, schools, sports events. I live in Michigan, the Big House. A lot of you guys know the Big House. It's one of the biggest sports arenas there is. It's called the Big House for a reason. Over 117,000 people can fit in there on any given Saturday to watch a Michigan game. That's a lot of fucking people inside of there.
I've never been to one that big. I have like a local. I've been to a local small. What is the Riverman ice skate or hockey? What's that, like AAA? I don't know what they call it. The smaller.
Yeah, they're not even
mid
AAA
leagues
anymore.
Okay, and then
Bottom, man.
Yeah, and then I've been to the Chiefs, which are another like, what do they call the minors?
Yep.
So anyway,
I don't let events scare me. That's one of the things that I'll always be out there. I'll always go out in public. I'm not gonna not go to something that I want to do because I think, oh my God, somebody might shoot the place up, or there might be a bomb there, or this, that, or the other.
I think it's more of a social anxiety thing for most people that don't want to go to big events. Like Kim, I don't think you're worried about an attack necessarily as much as you just like the social anxiety about people all around you with all the different things that people do and just like there's a, I don't know, were you like that as a kid, Kim? Like kind of didn't want to be around a lot of people? Because I think some of that carries over. I don't know if it's like self-consciousness, like how you look in the crowd, because now we're adults, so everyone around us are somewhat peers of some kind, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of an interesting carryover.
I've never liked attention drawn to me, but one of the things I remember probably like 30 years ago, maybe, of watching videos, and I don't remember if they were where they were from, but they were like documentary kinds of things where they would show these huge crushes of people like at soccer games or whatever, and they would be like on the rails of the arena or something, and it was
or
like
hockey,
a big drop down.
Mm-hmm.
No, this was like, and there would be like a big drop down, and the crush of people would cause that railing to collapse.
Yeah.
And then all of these people would fall down.
Like it was soccer games in Europe is what it was. Over in the UK and in Europe. Happened several times.
I can't really remember where they were at, but I just remember that imaging. And it was a long time ago that I saw those. And, I've always been cognizant of big bodies of people. But, when people get crazy like that, with a lot of energy and whatever, they become dangerous in a crowd. And so I've always had that, or I've had that image in my mind. It was probably even longer than 30 years ago. But when my son was about 10, we went to Las Vegas. A good friend of mine, his sister was getting married, and I was her maid of honor. And so we all converged on Vegas for New Year's. And we didn't have enough time after the wedding to take my son back to a babysitter before the ball dropping. So we just took him with us to the ball dropping out on the strip. And we were in front of Treasure Island. Treasure Island was new at the time. This was in the mid-90s. And so we're on the wooden. So when you walk up to Treasure Island, there's two ships that pretend duel on either side. You walk.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. In Florida?
No, in
Las Vegas.
Wow, I've been to Treasure Island anyway. Go ahead. In Florida, that's a different.
Yeah, this is a casino. But anyway, when you go to walk up to the casino, you walk on these wooden planks that go over these water features with the ships on either side, and then it leads up to the casino doors. Well, we were kind of in the middle of all of this. We weren't too far from where the water was at. Thank God we were farther away. But something was going on at the back of the crowd towards the casino, and the crowd was like heaving like this. And I don't know if there were people that were being stupid at the back of the crowd, like pushing the crowd or whatever. but people started getting pushed off into the water, and it's fucking cold as shit in Las
Yeah.
Vegas this time of the year. I mean, it's like zero, it's cold. And there were a lot of little kids there, and it was really, really scary because people could have been crushed to death in that. And so ever since then, I don't do crowds. Like, I am very, very, very cognizant of crowds, and I don't.
No,
If
I would
it's
not do Times Square on New Year's Eve. Something like that. Absolutely not.
yeah,
So there's a
That's-
level.
I
Okay.
couldn't
That's
see
the
myself
next level.
like that ever.
Or like a
You
big
know.
cruise ship that's so crowded you can't get away, you can't go anywhere.
Fuck that. I'm scared of ships anyway. I would never. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go in the Navy.
Well, this is what I pulled up on the definition, that because there's two different phobias we're kind of discussing here. 1 second, I'm tagging a couple more people here. Ted, let's get Ted in here. I don't know. Have you heard any of the music, Jason? The People in the Boxes song.
The first time I just heard that one song today, I was actually thinking about it. I was like, man, we've had a lot of different intros. Yeah, but I couldn't believe the episode 156. Is that where we're at, really?
126.
126. Okay. I was like,
quite
holy
the years,
shit, I cannot believe it's that many episodes.
Here, I'll play you one of these here while we do.
I mean, I know I've been at MIA for, 9 weeks, 10 weeks? If not a little bit more.
I'm not sure, but
I'm approaching my 90 days at work. So it's 90 days without calling in, without missing a day, without being late. It's 90-day probation period, basically. So
tell us what you
do? What's that?
You want to tell us what you do?
I'm back in the legal cannabis industry. So
okay,
I work for it's partnered company. It's Glorious Cannabis and Choice Cannabis. They are partnered together, and I'm floating around in there.
Okay. I just went to the Capitol about this whole bill in Illinois about hemp. So I wished I was wishing I had somebody around on yesterday's show to have the back and forth, because I know there are people in the cannabis industry that really are upset with the hemp industry, and there's this sort of like this contention between them. I personally think it's all manufactured by the government on purpose to divide and conquer kind of thing. But there is some real feelings in the Illinois hemp versus cannabis, and that's another topic altogether. But yeah, it's interesting that
it's because of the wording. It's 100% because of the wording. If they word it a certain way, then you have a gray line that you can curve a little bit this way and curve a little bit that way. Hi, Lisa.
Right, and there's a tug of war of like a nonstop. We don't realize what happens in legislation. Like, we feel like nothing ever gets done, but stuff does happen that
it just
isn't really
so long.
Well, but little things happen all the time that we just don't hear about, which is a different thing altogether. And that's where they decide to go, okay, finally you're legal, whatever it is, like new state legal cannabis. Next year, 2 years from now, we're going to tweak that shit in the back in the back room, and no one knows. And so it's like you think, we did something. And it's like, well, we're going to just in a little bit later. Anyway, not to be pessimistic, but
I want to get to Alan here. Alan says we haven't been out to dinner since 2019. So that was pre-COVID. So that was before COVID. So what stopped you going out to dinner, Alan?
COVID was probably part of it. COVID definitely.
Well, COVID was 2020.
Slowed people. I know, but since then, people kind of took on some of those habits and never let them go.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. But 2019. What stopped you in 2019 from going out to dinner? It's interesting to me.
Well,
What was
2019 was right before COVID hit, because COVID started rearing
February
its
of 2020,
like right after Christmas.
Yep. Yep,
when
it was February of
makes off
2020.
here.
Stop going to sporting
So
events.
we were
concerts.
just in a meeting about it because we're still having to wear our face masks.
Well, the thing is that it made everybody aware. It made everybody aware that germs are passed, how germs are passed. I don't think people had really ever thought about it or thought about how um, easily it
Lisa.
is to transmit those germs, and you just don't know what the fuck people are breathing. Like, seriously.
Well, that's what I'm saying about the theme of this episode. Where do we think there's a growing a growing fear in people that maybe not necessarily a diagnosable. You're not like clinically like I just had this up here. You're not clinically either. I don't even know how to say it. An ochlophobia or the agoraphobia. Those are both two different things, but they're similar. So, agoraphobia is the fear of crowds, characterized by high levels of anxiety when in or thinking about crowds. But then the distinction with agoraphobia involves a fear of situations where escape might be difficult or help unavailable. But both can involve crowds, right? So
Yep.
it's interesting that there's so many different like pinpointed fears out there and phobias. I wonder if there was just some like psychologist, psychiatrist. I'm not even sure which field it would be that like does that makes new ones. Like like who's the one that like adds to the list of phobias? Like is that some kind of clinical situation?
Melanie has a mix between that one and the fear of leaving your house. So she has a fear of crowds and she has a fear of leaving the house. So the crowds is stronger than leaving the house, but there's certain days that there's no possible way. She's not going to go to a grocery store. She's not going to get out of her car. You know, there was times that when I was living there in California, it was just like, oh, okay. And, you know, we had talked about it before, but never really had seen it to that point. So,
Yeah, I think nobody was really prepared to. I think everybody learned a little bit of something about themselves, you know, through the last few years, and some of us have stayed in the shell and felt more comfortable in that type of a controlled environment at home, work from home, you know, order your groceries from home. What else?
yeah,
I mean, you can do almost everything from
everything,
home now.
everything. I mean, look
I
at
don't
all
know.
the jobs that we found out that we were able to do remote. You know, school was done from home. They were able to teach. You know, it wasn't a one-on-one experience like it is, you know, with your students in the classroom, but they were still teaching.
Yeah, but everybody hated it.
Oh, yeah,
I
it was
hated
horrendous.
teaching like that, and the
It was horrendous. We had
students
school
hated
buses that had satellites on them so frickin' people could have internet and stuff. It was just,
that.
uh,
Like for me,
Yeah, seeing this
I'm
footage.
not afraid of crowds per se. What bothers me about being around crowds of people is that people are fucking stupid. And
mhm.
I don't want to be around people being stupid because, you know, stupidity is what kills.
So this is the Cybertruck that was blown up. Supposedly there was some high grade fireworks along with other types of explosives to mix together. Uh, I don't know much more about the story. I heard that the person had somehow his service ID um,
He was a Green
survived.
Beret. He was a highly decorated Green Beret active duty that who was on leave out of Germany, and he had PTSD. It's related to PTSD, but I haven't paid attention to it this week because I haven't really been home a whole lot to really listen to what was going on or to read about it or whatever. Um, but last week, last that it was discussed was they still didn't understand his motive. Like he left some writings about it, and they were kind of cryptic, but it really didn't fully explain his motive, because he said something about, what did he say? Something to the effect of, we are being ruled by weak. I don't know. I can't remember what he said now, but
Did he live there?
he's definitely disgruntled and he had PTSD. So, they're attributing what he did to the PTSD predominantly.
Some of it's a little bit iffy, though. Like, for one thing, the only way they identified the man was from his service pistol and from his ID.
Yeah, ID
Nothing
card.
in the body could be identified. So those two things can be planted easily. And it says right
He was
here,
still in the car.
Yeah, he was still in the car. I think
He
they
was still
sent
in the
his
car.
remains out for
someone was.
identification, and I don't know how long it'll take for them to be able to identify, like,
Well,
teeth.
where it happened, there's definitely video surveillance more than what we've seen.
Well, like this
all
says,
the
where's the
security
surveillance
cameras in
footage?
that area.
Yeah, it says right there. Where's the footage of him in the car before it? Supposedly he shot himself. I don't know, man. Okay, it's a little worrisome because I don't know that we're there yet. But when you take a self-driving vehicle, the situation I could imagine is that the person he's in some kind of a disagreement in some way. I don't know whether he's in something bad or something, and he gets shot. They shoot him. The person, whatever, the assailant kills the man, puts him in the car, and drives the car to blow it up. Like I mean, I'm just saying, when you're in a car that could just drive the body there, then detonate to destroy all the evidence, other than
he left a thing. He left a suicide thing or whatever. He left stuff. That's how they have what they have.
His manifesto.
Right.
Yeah, I can't remember if they called it a manifesto, because I know the other guy left a manifesto. I know for sure that they used that language with him, but I don't know if they used that language with this dude.
Wasn't there a Navy SEAL that does podcast shows and stuff like that was friends with this Matthew guy
I don't
that
know.
had supposedly been in contact with him for a few days prior to this, with that guy reporting that he felt like he was being followed around by the FBI?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I haven't really paid attention. Like I said, I've been uber busy this week. Like, this is the first day that I've been home by 5. So I've had an extremely busy week so far.
Okay, manifesto from the Green Beret behind the Tesla Cybertruck explosion at the Trump Hotel. So this is allegedly posting it. I'm not sure. Is this a picture? I don't know if this is real or not, but it looks like somebody posted it. Dabber G Mib. Oh man, is that saying I need to do a dab? Okay.
So what are you saying? Like, do you think people are just going to not start going and walking down the street because bombs are going to be going off?
I feel like, well, that's a hotel, right? So that's a hotel. So, right. So I'm thinking travel, and people will cut out some of the vacationing type things. They're going to, I don't know.
You don't think it was so for more people not to go to Trump Towers or to use Trump businesses or anything like that?
That specific instance for sure was some kind of a message in that regard. But on the more general sense, it lines up with, like you said before, that attack in Vegas years ago, and we could list a whole bunch of other ones where if you decide to go to a place, let's say an artist that's in the news for some kind of political issue, right? Like Tony Hinchcliffe, when he did the rally, and he made that joke that like got misconstrued into like Puerto Ricans are garbage and this and that, and it wasn't really the intention. But if I was to go to his show right after that, a little piece of me would think about it, like,
So
hey, this guy, there's a bit, there could be a big thing, there could be protesters or whatever at the show, you know what I mean?
let's
And he
put
did,
it into
he went through
today's
it,
aspect of people supporting P. Diddy.
right?
The artists that are supporting P. Diddy and still putting on concerts that are dealing with strikes out in front of their show and everything else. So would you be scared to go to one of their concerts?
Well, it's just like they remember, who was it? Ariana Grande. There was like an attack at one of her concerts.
Taylor Swift is another
Yeah,
one.
Taylor Swift had one.
There's
I
bad
think
stuff.
any place where you have a large body of people like that, you're a target, and you
Well,
really have to have security to. You can't just. It's not like the old days where you just go to a concert and the worst that can
Get
happen
date
to you
raped.
is a girl fight or something at a concert and get naked.
Take a roofie.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I'll play DeVille's advocate here. Think about any public, like any place that happens to have adult beverages. So you go to the local bar and it has, like, if it gets a little crowded, maybe 15 people in there, a fight breaks out and all of a sudden police are called, maybe there's shots fired, whatever. That kind of stuff can happen on a very small level when you're talking about local, just kind of like a local event, when it's like maybe a restaurant that's busy, but usually alcohol is involved. Everything we just listed off were concerts, right? There has been more attacks at like churches. I think in Texas for sure there have been several attacks on churches, so that could be a deterrent to some people that would make them not want to be going to church anymore. So I could see a lot of different.
All of America get hit at one point in time, or am I thinking of a movie? Maybe.
Mall of America?
Yeah,
They did.
I'm not
I
sure.
think that something happened there at one point in time, but I might be thinking of a movie too. I smoke a lot of weed.
I think a shooting there or something. It seems like.
Head on a swivel, Alan says. Yeah. What'd you say, Red Six?
I think there may have been a shooting at Mall of America.
Something like
I
that.
I would have to assume almost.
And,
Like,
and
so,
did we see some aliens down in the Florida Mall or some shit like that?
I don't remember that one.
Some 14-foot aliens were chasing people around down in the Florida malls.
Were those gators?
No, that was right after the government admitted the aliens were real.
They've let things come out several times in the last few years about aliens. But okay, so another crowded thing would be cities. Do any of us? I don't think any of us live in a city. Maybe
No, but I
very
go to
small.
Detroit all the time. I mean,
I live in a
that's why
city.
I'm not really
but-
scared of big places, because even when I was little, I was going to Pistons games and I was going to Michigan State games. All these big colleges. Been to Ohio State games, Michigan games, Detroit Lions.
Let me ask you this.
You know.
Pick your poison. I don't care who you're talking, Trump or someone on the Democrat side. You decide to go somewhere, and maybe you're not going to that rally on purpose, but you go to you're going to visit somebody in a town, and you find out, oh, there's a rally for so and so. Right? Do you take that into consideration at all in your travels nowadays?
No, still going.
No,
100%.
you're not thinking.
Don't
you know
even
what I
get
mean, though?
too kids. Like, get the fuck out of my way. I got places to be. I don't give a damn that. No.
I mean, other than the
Don't
route
get
you
too
take might be closed off. You got to go a different route. I mean, sometimes that.
No,
happens, but
don't-
you know what
wouldn't
I'm
even-
saying, like,
Yeah. Wouldn't even think twice about somebody getting shot or whatever, or something happening, or
or some
Nope.
big parade that's typically has a little insanity happening, like St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day, or more recently, New Year's. They call it amateur hour, right? That's a different kind of crowd.
Mhm.
That crowd is all out there on a
that
mission.
car just ran
you're
over
not-
all them people. What was in?
Man, did you see the footage of that?
I did not.
I haven't
Let's
seen the
check it
footage.
out.
No. But it just
that was
jumped the
scary.
barrier or something like that. I don't know.
Well,
I
yeah,
just
but
heard-
those barriers were, they didn't have barriers up. First of all, second of all, the barriers that they're putting up for the Super Bowl are only designed to stop people at like 30 miles an hour, and that dude was hauling ass.
they
I saw
mowed him down.
footage of it, and man, he floored it. He was going at
I didn't
least.
see the footage, but everybody keeps saying that he just fucking.
He did. He fucking floored it. He was going at least 60 miles an hour down the whatever it is he was driving down, the road or street or lane
Like
or
a sidewalk or something. I don't know, because it was
Yeah.
blocked off for whatever reason.
that was scary.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure what to search. Does anyone know where it was at? Maybe I can find it.
Was it
Well, it was in the French
Louisiana?
Quarter in Louisiana.
Just yesterday? Was it yesterday?
No, it was
No.
New Year's Eve.
Okay, maybe New Year's Eve will help.
It was crazy. But no, I'm still gonna go to parades and still gonna go to stuff like that, amusement parks. You know, I've seen several shootings at amusement parks and fairs and like just. And I guess I might be desensitized a little bit because of the stuff that I have seen in Detroit. But I don't know. I guess Waylon just watched it.
This one says 2020. It says January 18th, 2024. So that's a different one, but
No, this was a white Ford F-150, I think. It was a white Ford truck. I think it was an
Yeah.
F-150.
in
It
New
was an
Orleans.
electric F-150.
Yeah, I see a video about it, but it's not gonna. It's we'd have to listen to it, and I'm not gonna do that. Oh.
Yep.
So they're describing it. This isn't the video, though. I wonder if they have a clip of the video. The caption is, "How does she still have her job?" I guess there's something that she says in this interview that is hilarious. Is there any more footage? Let's see. Maybe it's in the comments.
I don't know. It's a really short clip of it, though. It doesn't shows people getting hit and everything. It was horrible.
Yeah, this is the one from, says January 18th, 2024, New Year's Day. Like, that food truck just got rocked. Can't even really tell what happened, but all right, I'm not going to take us down that rabbit hole without finding it a little easier. Look at 10 injured. Okay, here it is. This might be it. So this is not
No, that's after the police and everybody already
right
arrived.
afterwards. Yeah. But this is, I guess, 30 injured.
Mm-hmm.
10 have been killed, 30 injured after vehicle drove into a crowd during New Year's Eve
Actually,
celebration.
14 were killed.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, do I want to go vacation at a place like that? I'm not sure, but driver reported got out of the car and started firing a weapon with police returning fire.
Yeah,
None of these are going to give us the video itself.
there's the truck.
That's the truck. Okay. Here's the guy firing. That's the guy talking about it. There's the truck. Well, there's a little bit closer picture.
Yeah, it plowed into that crane is what stopped it. And when he plowed into that is when he got out and he started firing at the popo.
So he had already chewed up, like drove right through several people.
Oh yeah,
here.
mowed down and all types of shit.
I wonder if this will have. It's only a minute 44 long. I'm guessing. You're not going to give us they wouldn't show that footage. Where
It's
did you
not,
see the
it's
footage?
not news footage. It's footage it looked like from either like a camera from a business or maybe somebody that was there took it with their phone or something. But this is long before the police showed up. It was a video of him plowing into people. It's horrible.
All of these are about that, but they're all the aftermath. All right, well, we get the gist, but that's pretty crazy. What's up, Eric? Tagged you in, man. I always see you on my profile, but never over here, so I figured maybe you just don't get the notification. Got to check in for work. Oh, okay, he works at night. Gotcha. That's why. At least 10. Yeah, that's the same story all the way down. So
CBS News. This is on the 4th of January, so it's a little old, but I think.
Attack in Vegas.
Yeah, updated on January 4th. It's a little bit old, but it's, from what I understand, it's still pretty relevant. It hasn't changed. But CBS News reported, I have a CBS News article, and it says Army Green Beret behind Las Vegas Cybertruck attack wrote New Year's Eve letter signaling mental health crisis. The string of coincidences that initially appeared to link the New Year's Day tragedy in New Orleans and Las Vegas have been overtaken by mounting evidence that the Tesla Cybertruck bombing at the Trump International Hotel was in fact a public display of a private tragedy, new information in an interview show. Decorated U.S. Army Special Forces Master Sergeant Matthew Livelsberger sent a disjointed email on the morning of New Year's Eve to Samuel Shoemate, a retired Army intelligence officer and military pundit, that outlined a constellation of grievances and dire warnings related to his military service, but gave no hint of or explanation for his actions. And that's pretty much in a text made public by local authorities. Livelsberger wrote, "I needed to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took." In an interview Friday, a former girlfriend of Livelsberger's said he told her he suffered from a TBI while serving in the Middle East.
So I'm confused here. There were two different things that happened, or just one?
There were two different things. There was two different things, and at first they thought they might be linked because both of them were Army people. And they both used the same app to rent their vehicles. So that white truck in New Orleans was a rented vehicle from, I don't remember the name of the company. It's a weird name. And the Cybertruck was rented from the same rental company. And they both happened around the same time. Like New Year's Eve day or whatever day it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Did you see the? Sorry, it just made me think of the man that got stuck in his automatic driving vehicle. You guys seen this? It was going in circles. Yeah. Stuck in.
And he's on the phone with the lady, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I can't stop it."
That's crazy.
Fuck that.
Here you go.
So the window, I would have done something.
This is agoraphobia. This is agoraphobia because so there's a lady talking, and actually I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but I'm gonna unmute it anyway because it's not music or anything.
I got a fight
flight to catch. Why is this thing going in a circle? I'm getting dizzy. Look at what it's doing.
I need to on my work. Working in a situation on the vehicle. Is it circling around a parking lot?
It's circling around. See this, Kim? I got my seatbelt on. I can't get out the car.
Yeah, I wouldn't be driving something like that myself.
Is somebody playing a joke on me? I got a flight to catch. Why is this thing going in a circle? So there's a longer video, and she says, "Can you access the app?" She's like, "Can you get in the app?" And he says, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, can you?" I forget what she said, but he's like, "Can you tell it? Can you make it stop right now? Like now?" So like people are kind of saying both directions on this. The guy should have been in the driver's seat anyway. Even in self-driving cars, they still want you to be in the driver's seat. And like
Really? Even in the Uber one?
I'm not sure how all of it works. This is just the pushback that some of the people are saying on the internet with this guy. They're like saying he could have helped her, maybe not be in there all the whole time, but he could have like attempted to help. Like if you grab the wheel, I bet you the thing had some kind of, it might have done anyway.
Right.
There was something else too. They were saying that he kind of refused to get on the app when she was telling him to get on the app, and instead of like being trying to help her with the situation, he acted like he was so put out by it. It's like, bro, you're in danger right now. I think I would be getting on the app. Like there's a part of this end of the video where he's like, can you just do it? Oh, that's why. It's because he would have had to stop recording the precious video he was taking in order to get on the app.
But let's play devil's advocate too. If I'm in a self-driving Uber and that motherfucker is driving around a parking lot like that, I'm praying for that son of a bitch to crash because I'm getting paid.
Yeah, especially if you're just in a parking lot. Imagine it on like the interstate. Start going in circles.
Well,
on the
that's
interstate.
A different story. He's in a parking lot.
Right.
He sounded like a sissy, anyways. But
CAA out of control. CAI or AI out of control. Yeah. Well, it's the tracking or the pathing was messed up, or whatever. But yeah, that's a situation that you are. That's exactly the definition of agoraphobia. Is like when you're in a situation that you can't get out of, and that kind of runs along the same path as like if you don't have a vehicle, or like Red Six and I have talked about. Oh, hey, we can do this. You want to ride with me? No, I'd rather have my own vehicle. Most people would much rather, even just by meeting up to go to the restaurant, be able to have their own way to go somewhere when they want to go somewhere. There is this like sort of fear of not being able to get up and leave if you have to leave. You know what I mean? And that's a similar thing of being like stuck or being fear of being like confined or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of how the military was, man. You had to sort of let go of your freedom, a little bit like the like jail or prison, but less voluntarily, or I mean more voluntarily, I should say, and less without a choice. And so you choosing to give up your free. So you say, okay, I'll join. Right. Okay. Sign where? All right. And then it's like, all right, give me your cell phone, give me all of your possessions. You'll have them back in 3 months.
I can tell when you piss, when you shit, when you cough.
Right. And it's like, oh shit, I'm like really stuck here. Like there's no like you can desert. You could be a deserter, but you better. Yeah, they're gonna find you. There were people. We all know stories probably of people that when they were about to leave for their the very beginning part of it, the MEPS or they call it, or the go off to do their own the testing, like, and they like dip out and the recruiters have that happen all the time, like last minute dippers, like, or the mom calls a recruiter like, well, Johnny doesn't want to do it anymore. Leave us alone.
Hey, Waylon?
Yes, ma'am.
I just sent you the video footage of that truck.
Oh, nice.
In chat.
That's fine. I'm going there right now. I mean, not nice, but thank you.
We had a guy go AWOL twice in basic.
AWOL, that's right. That's what they call it. AWOL.
Well,
there's a deserter, I guess.
Dishonorable discharge, because I would, if I wanted to leave, I would fuck my superior up. And that would end up with a dishonorable discharge.
You mean like fight them? Like I wouldn't do that because you might leave.
They would whip your ass. I wouldn't be fucking with none of that shit.
Even if you got one-on-one, he would have like all the pals would come through and be like, "All right, we're gonna give you our send off. Here you go." But to your point though, Jason, you're not wrong. You can do things to get kicked out, but not that. But not that.
Okay, dishonorable discharge, guaranteed. I know
Other way, just smoke some weed, Scooby. Just you get plenty of discharge from that. I can tell you that much, right, from firsthand experience. That'll be the quickest way. What? We like they're all drinking, every kind of liquor under the sun, and like,
yeah.
Is that the wacky tobacco over there? Oh my God! No way. Anyway, we're not gonna get caught up.
What's up, Bean?
Bindango. Here, let me play you a little song, Jason. I want you to hear this one because it's Bindango specific. Let's turn it up so you can hear the words. Actually, I have two of them. One of them is about Bindango, but another one is actually from Bean, who wrote a poem when he was 14, and he sent me this poem, and I turned it into a song, and that's actually really good. You think, okay, he's laughing, all right, so I'm going to have to play that one first. Here you go.
Sounds like a 90s cartoon.
It won't now. Him's kind of metal.
Remember biker mice from Mars?
No. That is not even yes, but no. No. Yeah, here that. Good one. You're probably not into rock though, or like metal. Definitely like a metalhead type song. This is what Bean asked for. All right, so there's that. But let me play the. I don't think he's in here anymore, but I'll still play the Fire in the Hole song as we do another little dab here. We got about 5 minutes till the West Coast. Light up the sky, cannabis clouds up so bold, shouting fire in the hole. Social accounts on the road, followers digging the show. I hope you have a smooth Friday. Cheers, everybody. Fire in the hole. Let's watch this video here.
There's more video footage. I don't think they have it on there that shows people getting like run over.
That bitch almost lost her life.
Well, I don't want to watch. I don't think we can watch that footage anyway. I want to get
Well, they showed it
that
on
girl
TV.
in that red hair girl, she almost died.
That looked like that could have easily been like somebody did that with editing. I'm not saying that video, but like there are other videos where people do that where it looks like you just barely missed something, but that bitch almost, she definitely almost lost.
She almost died.
Did you see how everyone else did get out of the way too? Like I didn't see. It's pinned, Lisa. I'll send it again here real quick. I would welcome you to come up. All right.
Yeah, they knew pretty early on with that dude. They knew pretty early on that that was a terrorist attack because it wasn't long after the attack when they called the FBI in, and the FBI was called in and became involved. And the FBI is only going to get involved if it's a terrorist attack.
Oh wait, I'll put this back for a second. I'm gonna do the number spin here in a minute. Got to see if anybody added themselves to the list. Lisa May's coming up. You 95 wonders of the world. We've got 24 or 25 people on the list. Okay. Check this one. I want a damn number, she said. Okay, 19. Kim Marston. I think I gave you a number already, Kim. Let me turn this. All right, let's play. Yeah, let me play you some gangster wailing for a smoking. This is for a smoking exclusive song, Jason. Here you go.
Check my name, sustainability, we about to reclaim. This is how we do it, keep it in the frame. I'm Waylon the farmer, the indoor king. Living off the grid, what the city can't bring. Got my hydro set up, my LED lights. Growing all my greens, all through the night. Self-sustain, that's the mission. Growing my own, I'm not missing. Indoor farming, the hustle.
Good one. It's my outro.
What is it? He's got a deal. What the fuck,
I'm not doing anything. I have a deal. A business deal. There you go.
I'm pretty sure this dog was abused, man.
Hello, Miss Charlene.
Charlene, hello.
You go potty?
That's hilarious, bro. Who's doing songs?
Sean Cook was number 22. Cindy was number 23.
That's nice. I mean, that's the next level. You got that one type of music. And
Do what?
I mean, that's the next level. You don't get flagged for music at all, and
Yeah, they do. They still do, though. I won not as much, but I did get the we don't have the rights to this in certain countries, so I had to just re-allow the audio or whatever. All right. There's I got some country tunes too. You like country, or what do you like the most?
country tunes? That's awesome, man. You're doing good,
Actually, to be honest, this is my newest favorite. I'm going to play my newest favorite. It's actually 7:10 right now on the West Coast.
Cheers.
So cheers, everybody. I'm going to play you my newest favorite, which is kind of an old school sound to it.
There's Waylon the indoor farmer begun with seeds in his home and visions so clear. He teaches us all how to grow year by year. Waylon the indoor farmer, he's the guy in a digital space where we reside. From hydroponics to the soils.
So have you guys been getting snow there?
He speaks up
Yeah.
on X's wisdom. He does not
Oh yeah.
A lot?
It's just cold.
On growing our food. He shows us the care.
Not really.
It snowed here all day, but like it was really light snow, so we didn't get a big accumulation of it. It was colder than hell. I'm a little worried about how cold it's going to get tomorrow night.
What are you using that song for? What show?
I don't have song, or I have a lot more songs than I have shows, so that one doesn't go to anything right now. I tell you what, though, you'll probably like this one from the Happy
Tattoo
Hippie
one right here,
Shop.
though.
Yeah, I really like this one. Have you heard the Happy Hippie Holler? You might like this one. The hippies love this one. Charlene, you're gonna like this one. Check this out. Good luck, everybody. Our last spin of the week. Good luck, everybody.
They're the heart and soul of the happy hippie.
Dude, I just bought you a new toy. Why are you taking out all those? Huh?
Oh, the hippies with hearts so wide. Happy hippie
Head shop.
where love resides. From seeds to lights, they've got it all. In their world of peace, they stand tall. On
That's
their
fucking
side, you'll
awesome.
find treasures galore. Cannabis seeds, lights, and so much more. Smoking devices, merch that's hip. Every item they sell comes with a happy trip. Oh, the hippies with the generous cheer, sharing laughs and love, holding dear. Live streams for friends with games to play. If you bingo nights, they light up the way. They print your dreams on hats and tees. Logos, stickers, hoodies with ease. A hippie holler under the sun. They celebrate life one by one.
One by
With the
one.
group on Facebook, so large and so bright. They bring the community together in life. Giving back, sharing joy, they set the pace. In the world of the hippies, there's always a place. Oh, the hippies with hearts so wide. Happy hippie head shop, where communities spread. From seeds to smoke, from fun to gear. In hippie holler, there's no room for fear. So if you're looking for peace or a
Number
smile to
18.
share, visit the hippies who
Happy
live
Lisa.
without care. Happy
What's
hippie
that?
head shop, where love is the key. Down in hippie holler, with the hippies you'll be free.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones. I got
Hey, no.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I hate to run, guys, but I gotta be at work at 4 a.m. So that means that I got like 5 hours of sleep ahead of me. So it was great seeing everybody.
See you, Bob.
I will try to come back next week. We'll see what's going on if I don't see you beforehand. So love you guys.
Do it,
Bye,
my brother.
everybody.
Appreciate you coming in. Thanks. I have to go fix my.
Love you guys. Bye, everybody.
Looks like you got stuck. What's up, Elisa? How are you?
Good. I got really bad anxiety, so I have a fear of crowds, talking in front of people.
Talking in front of people, yeah, that's a whole nother one for sure. Because like some people are afraid just to be in the crowd, but other people to like come up on screen, or for instance, or to be up on like the podium in front of a crowd. I'm gonna have to remove Jason, I think. Kick. I was just gonna play the social internet. This is kind of leads to your what you're saying here. Have you ever had to speak in public?
Only like in my CNA class.
I took a speech class in college, and of course we had to do a speech and such, and some people had a real problem with that.
Yeah. Yesterday I joined a Zoom meet with Finding Cooper's mom and them, and I just sat there for the longest time and didn't say nothing. And then I finally did talk.
It's okay.
But I had a lot of anxiety then, and that was just on camera.
Yeah, I think people have a whole nother anxiety on the internet, because it's in a lot of ways it's a crowd of people all in one place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of a very similar type of thing where you go into a chat room or you decide not to do those types of things and not to go and be social, not to get out there on Facebook. Oh, I don't want my stuff out there and everything. It's like, I hate to tell you, but your stuff's out there. Like Facebook has this whole profile on you that you can't see, even if you're not someone who posts much. They can tell by all sorts of things, and your information's out there, and our faces are out there. Like I'm not out there letting those apps have control of my face as much as I can help it, because there's a lot of people that do those apps. You guys know the apps, like they turn me into a cartoon, give me a different AI version of myself every other day or whatever. And
Yeah.
there's apps like that, and you're hitting that accept on the small print, just like we do on Facebook. No offense, but all of those little apps, so you don't know where they're from. And I guess I do that on some things too. Like I bought this cool sign over here, right? It's from China, and I had to go through an app on my phone. I don't know what the hell it said, is about. Like, yeah, go ahead, da, da, da. And it's like that can be a fearful thing for a lot of people. In a similar way that crowds are scary, it's because like, oh, who's out there, who's seeing it, who's gonna kind of like why some people don't comment, because they don't want to be seen and stuff like that. I know some people too, like it can be a confidence thing. As you get older, maybe there's a lot of regret piled up, and you feel like you don't look like you did when you were 20, and all these little things that stack up, and then you don't want to go out and be seen, or maybe you definitely don't want to go to the high school reunion. They're going to see me. They're going to remember. They're going to, oh my God. Like I've never been to the high school reunion. I just kind of never went. I don't think I really cared in the last ones. I'd probably go now. Have you ever been to one, Red Six?
No.
No? At least May, no? Kim?
No.
I almost went to my 40th one. I think it was 40 years. I don't know, something like that. I almost went, but it happened like in October, and I could have moved in October, so I was like, oh, there's no way. But I don't really get into that stuff. I could care less about most of the people I went to high school with. It was a miserable time of my life, and I really don't want to relive a lot of that stuff.
I have every so often I have someone from high school pop in on the show, and the other day one actually commented. It was like, "Oh, hey, and, how you doing?" And that was kind of nice. I think today or yesterday there was somebody that popped in too that didn't comment, and I'm just like, well, it's interesting, to see that they kind of are curious at least once in a while. Come check it out, maybe make fun of me or whatever. I don't know. That's fine, but it's just funny how as we grow up and grow old, we constantly have people and groups of people that we drift away from almost on purpose, because there's a bunch of, like, I wouldn't say negativity that builds up, but like all the little annoyances or whatever. It's kind of like it's kind of a longer drawn out version of when you have a roommate. When you have a roommate, that shit happens fast. You find out what annoys you about that person real quick, whether that's someone that you're having sex with or someone that you just live with. Like, that shit happens a lot faster. But adversely, when you just have that person as a friend or as a acquaintance, it takes a lot longer. But sometimes it's like, oh, I'm hearing an echo.
Just started.
Is it me?
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. Okay, no echo.
No.
I don't think there's an echo. Talk about getting derailed. Technology, man. Technology. You know what really grinds my gears? The fact that we don't use gears anymore. What was I even fucking talking about? Oh, yeah. So people, like in friendship groups and that type of thing, you start to drift away because of, I don't know what it is. Like, it's not that you not necessarily always that something bad happened in a situation. You just kind of throughout your life kind of ping pong back and forth from acquaintance to acquaintance. You know what I mean? It's a weird kind of thing. And we talk about that as like chapters in our life, but maybe it's an anxiety that builds up. Oh, I'm just not a good enough friend for that person. Or like, it's a lot of times it's our own insecurities about ourselves that cause us to not interact with other people versus something that the other person did to us. You know what I mean? And that's almost all the time what it is. Like, you're not afraid of a crowd because the crowd hurt you, but you're afraid of it because of your own insecurities. Well, what if I get trampled? What if I don't know what to do? What if I look stupid in front of a lot of people, like you were saying, Elisa May? It's an interesting conundrum. I think it can be something we can practice or sort of strengthen over time, or if you want to be around people for, say, a profession or whatever. Like, we know a lot of famous, like, celebrities or not celebrities, but actors, not to limit it. Celebrities means a different thing, but like actors that are very quiet and reserved, that don't want to be like very public and stuff like that. It's funny because you're in this multi-million-dollar blockbuster, but yet on the side, that person isn't like very, somebody like Keanu Reeves, like he's not out there schmoozing with people at parties and things like that. I mean, I guess he has, I'm sure, but he's kind of one of those people that are more quiet and kind of reserved. It's interesting.
He's humble.
Charlene, right?
He didn't have
Went
a big
to
old
do
ego.
10-year,
A
15
lot
year.
of people do.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we got number 18 who won was Diane. Diane won. You doing anything this weekend, Elisa May?
Nope.
Staying inside, out of the snow.
Yep. Like always.
Does Dill like snow at all?
No, he don't really like the cold.
My son.
Sometimes when we go to keep him outside, and if it's cold, he'll push the door back closed. Nope, not doing it.
My son doesn't give a shit. He wants to go out and like grab up the snow, and then all of a sudden you turn around, his lips are blue and he's shivering. It's like, all right, no, that's no more. Let's go, because he doesn't know how to stay warm while he's out there trying to play in the snow. Like brush the snow off your gloves. Like keep your hands warm. All these little things that you can't, get across to him, and he just wants to get right in there. It's crazy. There's people that were sledding recently too. I was like, man, I want to get him when he gets a little older and more capable of understanding, like get him like a big snow suit, like a very like really nice warm suit, and we can go like do some good big sledding. Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Appreciate you with the hashtag WTIF. We're almost at an hour and a half. I guess we don't have a whole lot more on the subject. It's pretty straightforward, like two different fears, but they're so close that I can't really see the difference on them. Like, would you say that you have more of a fear of crowds, Elisa May, or a fear of being in public in general? Like, say, going up to your, like the office at your local city hall to ask about something, even though there's not a big crowd of people right there. That's kind of a situation where you're in a public, or maybe like at a bank, it's a fancy bank, and you got to go and talk to them. Some people have that kind of anxiety, even if you don't have 1,000 people right there. It's a different thing, I guess. What about you?
Yeah, I'm more public.
Just public.
But even if there's a bunch of people around, I'm on high alert still, because I'm always observing and watching.
I was at the Capitol building last weekend and took a bunch of footage and pictures and showed it all off on Tuesday. So if anyone wants to check out that show, my son was with me, and we made a day of it. He called it the museum, the big museum building. Like, yeah, basically. My whole point was like, does it have to be that extravagant? That costs a lot of money to upkeep. We have this like church-like building that's old and very, historic, I guess, right? But then looking at the chandeliers alone are probably worth more than my house is worth. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It was insane. Anyway, but that was a very public type of situation. The representatives from Congress were there, and it was interesting to say the least. Like, it was very weird the way they had us bouncing back and forth from office to office. The what do you call them? The aides, the office or the whatever congressional aides or whatever. What else they call them? Staffers. They were like unsure of where most of the representatives were. They would send us over here, and okay, that's not where the office was. It's over here, and then they send us over there, and that no one knew anything about where any of the actual representatives' offices were. And it was really funny how we walked back and forth like 6 times to find certain ones. Like no one in the building fucking knew, and it's like, are you serious? No staffers know where the office, so that you're supposed to be able to go to the offices even if they're not there and leave messages on like their desk and things like that. It's a whole thing. Yeah, you can't take it down on their desk.
Year, and I imagine that a lot of new people started, so that means offices were probably shifting around.
They were, but that's true. The one of them said "new guy" on it instead of the person's name.
Yeah,
Just said "new guy." like that's funny, but it's not going to be easy to find when. But yeah, it was a lame duck session I was there for, which is funny. I never knew what that really meant until now.
Yep.
Well, thanks everybody for the hashtags, and looks like we got 3 winners this week. We've got William Falconer, we got Brenda Breiler, and we got Diane. What is Diane's last name? Say congrats. You won. I get Diana and Diane a little mixed up at times. Forgive me, ladies.
I'm not scared to be in public, and I'm not like scared of crowds per se, but I'm scared of like how stupid people get.
So you mean like in a recreational crowd?
They're stupid, huh?
Is it the type of crowd like say a recreational crowd at like a circus or a bar or a place where there's something, people just being goofy? Or
when I'm out in public and there's a lot of people, I'm constantly watching everything, and I don't put my back to anything.
My anxiety has anxiety. Okay. All right.
Because
yeah, I have anxiety, but
people do stupid shit, and it's like.
Do you position yourself? How do you position yourself in a restaurant? Red 6, you go first. Where do you sit in the restaurant?
Usually face as many people as I can.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I also position myself near the exits and the bathrooms. Mostly the bathrooms if I'm with my son and he's got to go. He does this funny thing, man. He at least he says, "Oh, I got to go pee," but he'll say it like last minute, and at that time he's like, he clamps on, man. He's like, "Okay," like, and I'm just like, wherever we're going, he's got a handful of himself, and I'm like, I think that's what I think when we say hold it. I think that he took it. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, no, not like. But then But then you don't want to tell him not to do that, because at that time that could easily be the thing that just
keeps him from letting loose.
Lets him go, like the fire hose is going. But yeah, it's funny though, because we actually had this happen on our way into the Capitol. We parked, and he was like, "Oh, gotta go pee," and I'm like, "I don't even know what freaking door to go in." So we went into a whole different building. The security guard was trying to give me some crap, and I'm like, "I just need to go to the bathroom right in there, man." And he's all like, "Well, but they might let you this and this and this." I'm like, And finally, he just let me in to go to the bathroom right around the corner, which is funny. And yeah, man, I was like, bro, he's gonna pee all over your floor right in a second. Like he was saying all these things, like trying to have some small talk and stuff, while I got my son right there next to him. You know, I think probably two hands at this time. You know, it was funny.
I'll never forget one time it was my church group. So we had like these home Bible studies. And so I was with my home Bible study group, and we had like a picnic kind of a thing in the park by one of the people that I was with at their house, by their house. And so we're all out there, and then we're cleaning up because, you know, it was done and everything. And we're cleaning up and packing stuff back into vehicles. And one of the guys, his son had to pee. He was like around 3 or 4 years old. Little boy had to pee. And he's like, you know, you could see he was like frantically trying to go to a bathroom, and there wasn't a bathroom anywhere near. So he dropped his pants and he started peeing right there on the sidewalk. It was the funniest thing. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you don't see or hear about that from girls as often. You know, I wonder what the difference is. Like because essentially we have the same thing, just one of them's inside out, the other one's outside, and the muscles maybe are being affected in different ways between male and female, and men just have the harder time, no pun intended, like holding the pee in, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's conditioning. I think women are conditioned differently than men, and it starts at the
You're telling me like small girls, like 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, like your little boys are much more known for peeing their pants, like at school or whatever. Like little girls aren't. You think it's because they're conditioning? From who? The parents?
They just care less, and they just pull it out and pee on a tree or something.
Yeah, it's harder for girls because it's like we got to pull our pants down or whatever and squat.
Well, maybe, but I think it's also easier for you
to pee on your pants, so it's different.
It's easier for you to clamp it off too. No matter how much dancing around we do, and how we can't just you know, close it up. I don't know how we got in this conversation, but that is a fear in public places, though. So I'll connect that shit to the topic. I tell you what. Because if you never had to take a piss real bad when you're in a public place and you couldn't find a bathroom and you're like, holy shit, where am I going?
It goes to the whole fear of people pooping in public, like
in the pool. Oh no, that's not a Baby Ruth, son. Stay away.
No, but a lot of people don't poop in public places.
I don't like to poop in public places either.
A lot of people are like that. Now, when I gotta poop, I ain't holding that shit in.
Girl over my shoulder one time.
I'm gonna get rid of it. I get a bad stomach ache if I have to poop and I can't poop. It makes me sick.
Yeah, well, they say poop on company's time, so
yeah. My boss is making $1 and I'm making a dime. That's why I'm shitting on company time. That's the way that goes. Chris says he had to toss his 2-year-old on his shoulder and go sprinting to the bathroom. Like, I just imagine him, like, with the stiff arm out, you know, like the Heisman. He's just, get out of the way. She's gonna blow. Yeah, I can imagine, man. That's intense. Yeah, we've all had that with the kids. If you're a parent, I mean, there's nothing like it. Not just like try to get them there when they've gone when they need to go, but like just, you know, having those accidents, small babies, when they're just gonna go all the time. You're constantly trying to figure out where the bathroom is when you go places before you even worry about it. You're like, all right, where's the bathroom at in this place?
Yeah.
Before it even comes up. The joys of parenting. I'll add to that.
I don't know if I ever really worried about that part of it.
You have like a big bag with you? You carry like the big diaper bag with all the like your Matchbox luggage inside there and everything.
All the accoutrements.
Huge bag that's just like, well, because it becomes your purse too, right? Like you kind of throw everything in there, and then it just becomes your.
No, I kept a separate purse.
That's exactly how it was. Chris said, "I'll poop in public bathrooms all day long." All day long, Chris. That sounds like a problem, my friend. I would say like you have the hover, the cover, or the sit.
The only place that I have a hard time going potty and pee or poo, either one, is those outhouse things, the porta potties.
Oh man, so when living in Iraq for a year, like those became your like every day, you know. And it was like I don't like them either. I don't use them if I don't have to. But
did you have burn barrels? Did you ever have
we never had to stir any shit. No, we went to lots of little FOBs that had those little spot on the outside where there's a big burn pit and like that.
Done that.
I would rather go in the woods too.
Yeah, and they have make devices for women that I feel like would be a thing. Like especially, so there's a few things. Like a long time ago, I saw the device that's kind of like a coffee filter that folds in half like a taco, and it allows a woman to stand up and pee. But then there's another thing that I forget what it's called, but you like you wrap it around a tree or a post or whatever, and you just lean back, and it's like a seat for you to be able to take a poop. Like you just sort of lean back against the weight of the tree or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Has anyone seen those? It's like for out in the woods or whatever. You put
there is an art to shitting in the woods though, because you got to be careful that you don't shit on your clothes.
Watch out for rattlesnakes. Well, that's what this is for, so that you can lean back away from your clothing. You know,
I would probably fall.
The right height, you can just kind of sit on it and hang over.
Chris says he polishes the seat with toilet paper, but Chris, is it like what are you polishing the seat with? You bring a little Purell with you, or what's up? I mean, that could be the thing. What's up, country boy?
I don't want my hands to touch the toilet. Gross.
Yeah, touching the
toilet. So like you could hover. You know, you could stand up above it and like bend down, like squat down.
Well, it depends.
It bothers me that use the hand dryers too. I hate
me too. I do not use those. What do you do when you get into one that doesn't have one?
I walk out with wet hands.
Just, you know,
yeah.
Hey, what's up? Hey, kind of waving at people as you're trying to dry them off. Yeah,
the old fashioned.
They're still outhouses at some point.
That's what your shirt's for.
My daughter will come out of the bathroom and kind of give me that look, and I'll just hand her my arm. You know, like, all right, I get it. There's no towels in there. I get it.
No one sees what? I shut off a cliff.
I wouldn't use like a device to go to the bathroom in. That would be gross. I'm like a selective germaphobe. And if I'll touch gross things, but I have to immediately wash my hands afterward. And if I can't wash my hands, I don't want to touch it.
I thought you were going to say as long as the money's right, but yeah, washing your hands afterwards is good too.
I have to wash my hands. Like when I clean the litter box out, like I'll wash my hands probably 50 times before I get the litter box cleaned, because every time I touch something, I have to go wash my hands.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like that too. Go ahead, Elisa.
He said germophobia. Joe's like that too.
I like to think that I'm selective as well, because if I'm in my good school clothes, or you know, I don't want to get all dirty. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get all sweaty and dirty, you know. But if I'm going to put on a certain, like, I'll throw on some old BDU pants, and if I'm really going to get into a project outside, or I'm going to get dirty, put on my boots, you know, put my pants down in the boots and everything, to where it's like nice and tucked in and a little keep me a little cleaner or keep some of that whatever out. If I'm doing a dirty project outside or something, put on the right clothes for the right job. Like I don't want my wallet. Like if I'm about to go get sweaty, like say like mowing my grass, I'm not gonna wear my pants that I have my wallet in. You know what I mean? Like that little things like that. Like I don't like to be. I guess I don't mind being dirty. I just don't want to get my things all nasty or dirty. Like my money or something. But that can't be helped sometimes. Sometimes it's just hot, man. I went through
So
all
this
summer with
this
no
is
air
what a
conditioning.
germaphobe is like, okay? You go
There's
to the
levels of it.
bathroom. Let me ask you a question. When you go to the bathroom, a public bathroom, after you wash your hands, what do?
I lick them.
You're
Nah,
disgusting.
I walk out.
So after I wash my hands,
I use my
I go
elbow.
to the bathroom, I do my business, I wash my hands, I dry my hands off, and I keep the paper towel that I just dried my hands off, and I use that to open the door. I don't touch the door handle. And then once I get the door open, I'll like hold it open with my shoulder, and I'll take the paper towel and I'll toss it in the trash.
A lot of the
And if there's not a trash can right there, then I'll stick
throw
it
it on
in
the
the
ground.
next trash can I come to.
have the foot openers.
In my classroom, because kids, and it doesn't matter what age they are disgusting. I don't touch anything in my classroom that the kids touch.
Jay Frost puts them in his mouth.
I don't even touch their papers. Like they'll do their work. The kids don't turn their papers into me. They turn their papers in electronically. They take pictures and they upload it into the system we use.
So they do what I had to do in college. Basically, that's kind of how things went when I got out of high school and started going to ICC years later after getting home from the war. I started going to college, and it's like I had to start. You had to be everything was online. I had to use their website for every fucking thing. You had to upload everything on the website. That sucked. But
I don't know about that, but they upload their paper. They upload their work into. We use Canvas, so they upload all of their work into Canvas, and I grade it from there. That way, I don't have to touch their dirty papers because they're gross. Kids are gross. They pick their nose and eat their boogers and do all. There's this kid. When I was out in California, there was this kid I had. They were juniors, and every day I had him after lunch. Every day he would come in and he would toss his backpack on the ground by his desk, and then he would lay his face down on his desk. And I mean, we're talking his skin was all into the top of his desk. And I would tell him, honey, you shouldn't put your face on the top of the desk. It's gross. And so one day he comes in and he did this, and I said, can I ask you a question? When you go to the bathroom, I said, how many of the people in the bathroom, when you go, wash their hands after they use the bathroom? And he said, most of them don't. And I said, yeah. And I said, what happens after they leave the bathroom? He says, I don't know. And I said, they come in and they touch the desktop that you're laying your face on. And it was funny because when I said that, man, he jerked his head up and he never laid his head on his desk after that.
Or they go eat at the buffet and they touch all the utensils you're about to grab and get your food with.
That's what I do with my kid. I tell him, look, the closet, this cabinet with all the snacks in it, is covered in poop. You can't touch it. Otherwise,
you really tell him that?
No, I'm just taking that to the extreme. Like you can just use that for all things. Like kids, you're like the closet where the presents are at. Like, look, I didn't wash my hands and I was touching this cabinet. Kids, dude, don't touch this. Don't touch this. Like you could get it. You can really get them good with that. Are you still talking about this? Are you still here? What's up, Frost? Come on up. We were talking about public places, and the restroom came up, and that's a big thing, public restrooms is an anxiety. Like other people are in there, and like some people don't like that.
Do you
So
know how hard it is
related.
to poop
And-
when somebody is in the same room as you are? It's hard.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like in Frost, if you were here for the first hour of the show, we talked about many things. Thank you very much. We've just been on pooping and peeing for a little while, okay?
Oh, gas handles are disgusting.
Speaking of which, let's do another dab, and I have a special song to play you guys. One of my favorites.
I don't mind being out in the cold. And I don't mind not knowing where to go.
Out in the Cold by Dave
But I mind watching faces in pain. Seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold. Out in the cold. And I don't mind not knowing where to go. Where do I go? But I mind
Cheers.
watching faces in pain.
Cheating Kim.
Seeing them
Chocolate.
cold and hungry, left in the rain. Yeah. I don't mind the path that I had to walk, and I don't mind all those words that I had
Hero.
to talk, and I don't mind all those
That's
flings that I had to fling, and some of those words I spoke, I just had to sing. I just had to bring the best that I had to give, and being tested by these blessings that I had to live. Changing dressings
Dirt
and the
doesn't
scars
bother
that I
me.
had within. It's a daily operation, you just gotta grin.
Gross
Before it
stuff.
gets
I don't
too
like my
grim,
hands to
and
be
life
dirty.
pins you in. You gotta think like a shark and show your fins. Whether alone in the dark or with an audience, believe you're the hottest commodity since the iPhone lobotomy. You follow
yeah.
me? I'm hoping probably. I'm talking openly and don't know where the rope could be. The crosshairs, the red dot, or the
I hate
point
when my
drip.
hands
So
smell
take a
like gas
message from the sun.
afterwards.
That's all I have to give. I don't mind being out in the cold. And I don't mind not knowing where to go. But I mind watching faces in pain. Seeing them
Doesn't
cold
always
and
have to
hungry,
grow off
left
the
in the
tip.
rain.
What?
Fungus.
I don't mind being out in the cold.
Psilocybin doesn't always
And
have
I
to
don't
grow on
mind
scalp.
not knowing where to go. But I mind watching faces in pain.
Grow without it.
Seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain. They leave you in the rain, then hang you out to dry. I wonder how so many people get by. And then one day you wake up and start to realize that anyone you know could be called up
Right.
at any time. Can't press rewind, can't flip the tape, so might
got
as well not live in the past and dwell in hate.
135
People
people in the
talk strange
outside.
shit
If you
to
guys
get to
haven't
the
hit that
gate.
like button
And
yet,
if you know me well, you
yourself.
know I calm doors of
Really
fate.
appreciate
I
it.
take what I need, but not too much. And
My
never
dad
open
would
the
have been
door if the handle was
101
hot
years
to
old
touch. You
today.
gotta find an alternate way out of the
Wow.
flames. They want you in the spotlight, they want you just to take the blame. But all the same, it's like a
That's,
wheel with these fucking hipsters. Instead of me rappers,
unusual
we could use more
nowadays.
active listeners. But I don't
Oh,
mind,
he's not
because a lot of
alive. He
things
died in
actually happen, 'cause I'm a
2006,
music
but he would have
slave,
been
and this is what I'm
101.
coming strapped with.
I'm just saying, like, that's an
I don't
unusual
mind
age
being
to
out
get
in the
to.
cold.
Yeah.
So, later,
Him and
Billy.
Jimmy Carter were the same age.
But I mind watching faces in
Hard
pain.
blue green, Diana.
Seeing them cold and
What,
hungry
I don't-
in the rain.
Watch Carter's funeral thing today.
I don't mind
You
being
muted
out
at
in
least,
the
May. Are you
cold.
talking?
Huh?
And I don't mind
At least
not
we're
knowing
talking
where
about.
to go.
Oh, I said the lady I was just taking care of was 98 when she passed not too long ago.
Wow.
Seeing them cold and hungry, left in the rain.
She must took care of herself.
Let's actually that's a good you made me think of it. We should discuss next week's topic. You made me think of those tribes that they've studied that I forget what they're called, but they're tribes that are like untouched by modern man, and they live to higher age expectancies and stuff than we do because they have this like more primal way of life. The elderly live longer, and one of the reasons they found was because they continue working. Like they don't have some finish line that where they get to and say, "Ah, I'm retired. Ah, I'm done. It's over with." Right? Like the rest of us, if you think of that and say, "Okay, what's the rest of this life for?" So your body's supposed to give up. Those guys are. They were interviewing this guy who was like 85 or 95, or forget how old he was. He's chopping wood, and he's like, "Why are you sir? Why are you chopping this wood?" He's like, "If I don't do it, no one else will. Who else will, or whatever." Like, and it's like, well, that's true, man. And like, sometimes you keep going because you got to, and sometimes you quit because there's no reason to keep going. And so it's an interesting conundrum. I feel like always be learning, always be trying something new, always be working per se. We think of work as something that can be started and stopped, but that's called life. The struggle through life on a daily basis just to get through the day, that's work.
The lady I last took care of, though, she didn't like ever do no drugs her whole life. She never smoked. She would only take a Tylenol for pain every now and then.
Something to be said about that too, where you can do everything right your whole life and still slip on a roller skate and break your neck. Well, but to the point of the topic, we just took care of two that I had written down. If you guys out there want to help us, you're always involved, especially our weekly viewers. Let us know what you think on topics, and if you know them by now, the topics have to be something that's fairly common, a common topic or a generalized topic that most people can share some experience with. And we've got fasting, we've got nicotine, we've got caffeine. We could do a double. We could do another episode with nicotine and caffeine combined and talk about those two things, because it's an interesting thing where both of those substances are actually kind of good for us in small amounts. They're stimulants, they call it. There's different things that are good for us about them, but then there's also a lot of negative connotations to both of those. So we could hit that one next week, or maybe something more topical that has to do with a current event. So we'll see what happens. But if any of you guys have any thoughts, it's obviously Red Six and Kim. We don't have to wait till the day of, so we can always come up with something that day as well. But I like to involve you guys, so I may start doing this. I may start putting out the post earlier in the day, or not earlier in the day, actually. So make a post earlier in the week and see what people want to. No, that doesn't sound right. Forget that. Let's go.
You could make a poll post and see what people want to talk about or hear about.
Yeah, like a poll. Yeah, and I haven't really done too many polls on Facebook. I could try doing that. I think I've done that on X, but that doesn't really, I don't have an audience there yet. But I mean, other than the 100 people that have popped through, so thanks whoever's watching there on X. But I think you're right. A poll might be good. I like to see what people think on the topic, but I also kind of like to tie our topics now to something that's happening in the news, because that kind of makes more sense. So I love it. I like the show. I like learning something every week. Thank you guys again. And we've got the weekend. Hope everybody has a good weekend. We've got game night coming up on Sunday. This Sheena is going to return to what do you call it? Defend her championship, her title. I'm also going to be on a podcast on X. I probably will stream it onto Facebook too on Saturday. I think it's 2:00 or Eastern time. So I think it's either noon or 1:00 my time. But it's going to be with a bunch of other podcasters, so it should be fun. Go check that out if you guys get time. Otherwise, go check out Elisa May. She's always doing something different and got something positive going on. Go check out Red Six with the Boots to Bushes. Going to be doing so. I think I'm going to try to go to that this weekend if I can. I forgot most of the details at this moment right off the top of my head, but I just remember that it's sometime around 5:00 on Saturday. That's the only thing I remembered. Doing something with Red 6 on Saturday around 5 o'clock. Got it. It's in there. And then we got Kim from Legit Bean Review with her new students. So let's
They're so
all
cute. They're
cross our
little.
fingers.
They
Well,
look
let's cross
like
our
little
fingers
kids.
that White Hulk doesn't come out, okay, with these little kids and just start smashing in skulls. You know,
These
I don't
kids are.
want to. You know, I'm hoping.
Yeah, this
Happy
is a
Gilmore
whole different
style.
environment.
She's like, oh, they're easy. They're smaller. They're easier to
They're little. Like,
handle.
oh my God, these guys are tiny. Like, I was checking them out when they were coming in because today was the first day I actually was in my class with my students because the principal had me
Hi,
doing
Chris.
planning the last 2 days. So, but so I got to see the kids for the first time, and they're so cute. They're little bitty things.
How much of the year do you have? I mean, like, so you got until May or so?
Yeah, June.
So a whole semester, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have 2 semesters. So we have the fall semester and then the spring semester. So we're in the spring semester right now.
Well, I wish you all the luck. Just don't White Hulk out on them. I really hope they survive it. I'll make
I already laid the law down.
just like you should put out the you should put out the rumor somehow from other people, somehow get the rumor out where it's like she left her other school because she hulked out on them and she killed a kid. And so she had to leave her school.
Oh, hell no. I'd have parents calling the school freaking out.
All right, well, maybe something, a softer rumor, like she hulked out and she jumped right through the window. And then like you think you didn't hurt any kids, but like you hulked out and you jumped right out the window, a 3-story building, and landed and ran off. She's got superpowers. That's the rumor, but it's only when you make her angry. Don't make her angry. Then the kids would start trying to piss you off, though. Gotta be honest. If I was a kid, you know, the kids that want to poke a snake with a stick, they'd be like, let's try to get her to hulk out. Anyway, my bad.
Well, I put my expectations on the board. Like I wrote all my expectations down and stuff that they're not allowed to do. So they're not allowed to have their cell phones at all. That's school policy, thank God. And they're not allowed to have like candy, gum. They can't have food in the class. And they can't have anything but water. And I told them, if I catch, because everybody's issued a laptop, I said, if I catch that you've got ChatGPT or any other AI program or a game or whatever going on your computer during class time, I said, you will go directly to the principal's office. The principal's pretty strict. She's a nice lady and everything, but she's really strict. So I have a feeling that they're not going to push me too much.
Good luck.
Yeah, I wish you luck. All right, well, thanks again, everybody. If you haven't followed the channel, follow the channel. We got 10 Rumble viewers. What's up? We got 133 people in the house. You guys have a good night. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you all later. Remember, it's all about our connection as a community. We all got to live together, so we all got to remember everybody has to eat, which means we need each other, right? So, good night, guys. Peace.
Yeah, this is for my green thumbs in the game. Wailing the indoor farmer. Check my name. Sustainability, we about to reclaim. This is how we do it, keep it in the frame. I'm Wailing the farmer, the indoor king. Living off the grid, what the city can't bring. Got my hydro setup, my LED lights. Growing all my greens, all through the night. Self-sustain, that's the mission. Growing my own, I'm not missing. Indoor farming, the hustle's real. Whalers here.